And hello fellow techers, Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and today we are on Westfield Rain. We are mid-tier and we are in the Ariete Progetto M35 mod 46. But wait, Space, this is not you playing. Correct, it's not me. I have received replay from GotADingy and this fantastic game in the Progetto. So I told them I would show it on my channel, and that's what we're going to do. And I had a decent game in this tank. I had about what, 4.9k damage and a loss. That was probably my best game so far. But he is gonna top my score. Actually, this game is even better than mine. So hold on to your seats, guys. This game is going to be fantastic. And as any good player would do, he came to location C3 because, believe it or not, this is the most important area of this map. Whoever wins control of C3, or this area, or this quadrant, C3 to A1, usually controls the outcome of the game. Because you get map control, and once you get map control, it is much easier to win the game. Although it's not going to be the case in here. It seems like GotADingy's team is gonna fall apart at one point, and he's gonna have to carry. And it's going to be a good carry, guys. So he's playing it really cautious early, as you can see. He's just poking over the hill whenever he can, whenever he has shells ready. Now, just to point out too, GotADingy uses APCR rounds here, but he told me that was mostly for training purposes, and it actually makes sense. And I'll try to explain it to you why a little bit later. But now let's focus on the game here. He's trying to engage this tiger. I'm assuming he's going to try to unload the full clip into him. And he tracked him. Yes, he unloads full clip into him. And hopefully someone else can damage him so he can get some assisted damage. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But, okay, the point about APCR rounds. So, if you're training your crews, you want to earn as much XP as possible. So basically, if your crew is not very good, it's really hard to hit weak spots. So if you load your premium rounds, you will be able to do more damage and in turn train your crews quicker. And that's why he's doing this here. And I fully understand that if you have only one skill, it's yeah, it's awfully hard to play the game. The game becomes much easier when your crew has 4, 5, 6 skills and perks, right? So he's fully loaded here. He's looking for his opportunities. He's trying to get shots at this T-28 Proto, but he can't really get anything. So he's gonna drop. Now these tanks have pretty heavy armor. E75 itself. It's better to engage him from the side, especially if you're a soft tank like a Progetto. You don't want to face him frontally. The same goes for T-28 Proto. Although with Progetto's premium rounds, he might be able to go through the front armor of the T-28 Proto. Anyway, he decided not to. He decides to go around and use his mobility. Takes one hit. Unfortunately, the first shell doesn't come off and bounces. The second shell penetrates, and Centurion 7-1 puts a shell into him, but our Conqueror takes out the Centurion. So now, we won this side of the field. What do we do now? As you can see, majority of greenies usually go run down the B and A lines. And that's a problem, a big problem, because once you end up in location B6, B7, you basically are exposed in the open field. That's the last thing you want to do. So I think what Dingy is doing here is a correct thing. He's going right in the center of the map. This will provide him opportunities to get shots across into these guys that are across the field. And here you can see him engaging this M46KR. He puts 2 shells into him. Unfortunately, the third one just misses, just barely misses. So I think he's gonna keep this position here, and that's exactly what I would do. I wouldn't go too crazy here. Use your clip / burst potential and try to get as many shots as you can. And with this auto reloader, which I mentioned to you guys in my review, what I try to do now is I try to burst the entire clip. If I see the target and I know the target's not gonna hide, I will basically put the entire clip into them. If the targets are hiding, I would play it shell by shell. So I think that's the proper way to play this tank. Although if you use your whole burst potential, you use your entire 600-700 damage, then the reload is quite long, like 34 seconds or something like that. So unfortunately this heavy tank goes in front of Dingy's shot here. So just like that he loses his high caliber, unfortunately. He puts 2 shells into Borsig. I don't think he meant to fire before the 3rd shell reloads. I think he was convinced he reloaded already, so that was kind of unfortunate that he fired before the 3rd shell reloaded. But he still gets a couple of shells into the Borsig. As you can see, the game is fairly even and very close so far. So I think the problem is that these guys, the greenies, that push too far and are currently in E7, E8 over there, they're in an exposed area and they're probably getting shelled. And that Progetto over there, I think, is doing a pretty good job at spotting them. And the opposition's tank destroyers that are sitting on the 0 line have lots of fun there firing at these guys. So here Dingy sees this T-28. Is he gonna fire? Yes, he did fire. He puts 1 shell into him. That was a good choice. That was a really good choice because T-28 disappears the second after he fires that shell. So that's the advantage of this tank. It gives you ability to fire that shell if you want to. And if you know that you're not gonna see the tank for a long period of time, if the spot disappears, then you basically lose the spot. So you can, if you were in a regular autoloader, you wouldn't be able to shoot at this point in time, but in Progetto you can. So he continues working this position, and I think he's basically waiting for these guys that are on the west side to draw some spots for him. Here he sees the side of T-28 Proto fully exposed, puts 1 shell into him, 2nd shell misses, 3rd shell hits, and no, he did not shoot your cat. He was actually shooting you, buddy. That's too funny. Anyway, so he's back on a reload, so he's backing up in between the buildings, and that's what you should be doing, guys. Every time you're reloading, look for hiding spot, because, you know, why stay exposed if you cannot fire, right? So I think over here he was worried that Progetto was cruising in the middle, the red's Progetto. So he basically came around here to see if he can spot him. But he doesn't appear to be climbing up the hill over here. But he does see juicy shots at Sturemil. So he's gonna put a couple shots into him. Is he gonna put a shot into this T-28? I would probably do that, because who knows how long he's gonna stay lit. He did wait for 2nd shell to load, but unfortunately that shell bounced and then he loses the spot. That was unfortunate. And yeah, and I think that's why you need to take the shots when you have them. Right? I mean, that's proof in a pudding right there. Anyway, so the game is still close, although his team is all of a sudden losing 2 tanks to 3 tanks. And I know he's thinking at this point to reposition. And actually this spot here would be pretty good to reposition. Location G3, because you have a little bit of an incline here. But he doesn't seem to be going up here. I think he's waiting for this Progetto to be coming on this side, because he was last spotted somewhere in G5, I believe. But it doesn't look like he's coming here. As a matter of fact, the red's Progetto gets spotted on the other side of the field, engaging our medium tank at F9. So I think what Dingy's gonna do here, he's gonna scoot over to the middle of the map, and hopefully he can get into the range, a render range, and he can actually shoot the Progetto. Unfortunately, the 1st shell misses. The 2nd shell hits. Will the 3rd shell hit? Yes, it does. But he's still left with a little bit of health, and unfortunately, the Progetto takes out the last medium tank. So at this point in time, Dingy is all by himself, and he's left to carry. And let's see what he can do. Now Progetto knows from which location he was firing, because obviously the marker shows you where the fire was incoming when he got hit. So wisely, GotADingy is changing his position. He's going over to the other side of the field, and he's gonna try to spot the guys from this side. He's anticipating that Progetto actually goes to the other side of the field now, looking for him, because he knows where he was shooting from, correct? So I think he was going to take a long route, but all of a sudden he realized that someone is capping, so he wanted to make sure. Now I'm not him, but I think he wanted to make sure that he's covering the cap circle here while he passes. And fortunately he does spot Sturemil. Can he get any shots into him? You can see him barely. First shell goes in. Can he put a second shell? Unfortunately, he doesn't. So, Sturemil disappears, unfortunately. Now what's going to happen is, and I think what's happening here is, the Dingy is trying to draw separation in case he gets spotted. And here he spots the Progetto and calmly takes him out of the game. And I love that. He plays this game so calmly. There's no stress whatsoever. You can see he aimed his shot properly. He didn't panic. He put a shell in the Progetto. Unfortunately, he was spotted now, so probably all the guns will be facing him. So what he needs to do is think about repositioning again. And again, if you're a lightly armored vehicle like a Progetto, you don't have any armor. The only advantage you have is your gun and potentially your view range. So he's gonna try to come from probably a different side of the map. He's gonna probably try to go to G3 somewhere around there and engage them from the other side. But all of a sudden he's noticed that both tank destroyers are capping at this point in time. So Houston, we have a problem. Change of plans. He doesn't have enough time to do that. I don't think he had enough time to scoot across to the other side of the map. So he decided to take a shortcut and use this ridge here for his gun depression. And hopefully he can outspot him and put some shells into him. He knows that Sturemil is only on sliver of health. He's only on one shot to him. So he only needs to put one shell into him. We don't know how much health does the T-28 have. But once he takes out one of these tanks out of the game, and here he sees Sturemil, can you take him out of the game? And he does, and now it's 1v1 situation. So where is the T-28? We can't see him right now. It seems like he's targeted, but we can't see the other tank, so he doesn't know where he knows he's in the cap circle, but he doesn't know exactly where he is in the cap circle. So what he's gonna do, I think right now, he's gonna probably engage him from a distance. That's what I would do. Well, I guess that's not what he's doing, but he's gotta be really careful because at 450 HP, T-28 can roll high and actually take him out of the game. So here comes GotADingy, just charges straight up. He barely avoids the shot from T-28 over here. Oh, lucky. Very lucky here. Is he gonna be able to go behind him? Is he gonna be able to go behind him? Oh, he hits the building, unfortunately. He takes the hit, unfortunately. And now he's behind him. That was so close. T-28 could have taken him out of the game so easily. But luckily, he's left with 94 HP. And luckily, T-28 had a stock gun, I believe. So stock gun does not have as high of an alpha as the last gun on a T-28. Though I don't know, I didn't play T-28. I'm just assuming from damage roll that he was rolling kind of low. So what a fantastic game. And I would call it the carry, wouldn't you guys? And unfortunately only class 1 with 5.3k damage, 5 tanks destroyed. He still managed to make 100,000 credits even though he was shooting a lot of APCR rounds early in the game. So very good result there. I guess he must have played this game after my ace tanker game because I got an ace tanker with 4.9k damage. Nowadays it's probably so much harder to get ace tanker in this tank because the criteria get harder and harder once more players play this tank. So as you can see the efficiency numbers here, again make sure you go and check out GotADingy's channel. He has some fantastic content on his channel, and if you love watching live gameplay, he's streaming 3 times a week and you will find links to his stream on his YouTube channel, so I strongly encourage you to go and check it out. Anyway, thanks GotADingy for sending this spectacular replay. I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. Good luck in your Spaghetto adventures. Until next time, happy tanking. Space Bandit, checking out.